Hello, welcome to a Risk of Rain 2 video for beginners. I'm KEKW, and we're going to be talking about just the basics of the game for people who maybe just got it or are thinking about jumping in. Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike third-person shooter developed by Hopu Games. In this game, you can choose from a variety of characters to play, all with different unique skills. You traverse maps, collecting items, slaying randomly generated enemies, and searching for a teleporter to move on to the next map. Every single run is different, as the item drops, enemy spawns, and teleporter locations are randomized each time. As you learn the game, you find out what moves, items, and strategies work with each character, and you learn to adapt to the items that you find as the run goes on. After 5 stages, you can elect to loop your run, tackling more stages, or you can choose to go to the final boss. Unlike a lot of the other roguelikes I've played, Risk of Rain 2 is actually multiplayer capable, so you can play with your friends. You can also choose to play by yourself. Both ways are super fun. You can see here we're looking at a whole bunch of different playable characters. So Risk of Rain has a ton of different characters. You have to unlock most of them. You only start with 2 at the beginning, but each character has a unique loadout that's special to them. They've got special skills and abilities, and each character plays completely differently, which I think is really, really cool. Each character has a primary attack, a secondary attack, a utility skill, and a special ability. They also come with a second skin. Some of these things need to be unlocked by playing the game. The game also has 3 difficulty levels: Drizzle, which is easy mode; Rainstorm, which is kind of normal, the way the developers intended the game to be played on; and Monsoon, which is the hardcore mode. A lot of people are playing on this right now. It's okay if you don't. There are also artifacts in the game. The artifacts are an unlockable thing that change the way that the game is played. This can be overwhelming, so feel free to check out the logbook or the wiki to see how some of this works. Let's jump into some gameplay real quick. Here's a section of a run that I completed with the Artificer. You'll see in the bottom right that I have 5 squares with things in them. These are my abilities, which are specific to each survivor, and you've seen that there are sometimes choices for these abilities in the selection screen if you unlock those choices. Here I'm picking up an item that slots into my Q slot. This orange item is an equipment. This item gives you an equipable item or skill that can be used after a cooldown period. This item type is the only kind that will show up in your skills area. The other items that you pick up will show up in the bar in the top middle of the screen. This area will show you what items you have, as well as how many of each you've got in the stack. You can remind yourself what any of these items or skills do by holding tab on PC and moving the cursor over the thing you want to inspect. There is also a mod that you can install that tells you what the items do when you pick them up, as the game only adds a little bit of flavor text. You may notice that as I kill enemies, I receive gold. You can see how much gold I have in the top left corner of the screen. Gold can be spent at chests and some other places to receive items. You can also get gold by interacting with small blue canisters that you see around the map, and some shrines, but I'll let you learn that on your own. The gold that you have is transferred to experience at the end of each stage, so you'll have to farm up again on the next stage. As you approach a teleporter, you'll see tiny specks floating around it. This is the best way to see where the teleporter is on a map, and can usually be seen from some distance away. The teleporter has 2 big curved points coming out of the ground on the sides of a rounded base with a small statue in the center. Interacting with the teleporter begins the teleporter event, which is a boss fight. The game spawns a boss for you to defeat and puts a sphere around the teleporter, which you have to remain inside for the purpose of charging the teleporter. If you leave the area, the teleporter charge will freeze until you return inside. While the teleporter event is active, you won't be able to interact with chests, shrines, or anything outside of the teleporter area. You'll be able to track the HP of the boss through the large HP bar on the screen. In your early teleporter events, you'll start to learn which enemies to prioritize so that you can safely and effectively defeat the bosses. Each boss has its own set of abilities, which you will quickly learn. After defeating the boss, an item is dropped near the teleporter. All bosses have a chance to drop a unique yellow boss item, so keep an eye out for that. The item that we received from that teleporter was green, which is the uncommon class. The one that you're seeing us get now, the bundle of fireworks, that's a white item, that's the common class. So you've got white items, common, green items, uncommon. Then you've got yellow items, red items, and blue items, which I'll let you find out more about as you play the game. The stage we're looking at right now is one of the second stages that you can go to. So the way that the rotation works is that every time you take a teleporter, you go to the next numbered stage, and those numbered stages can only be specific environments. So this desert stage can only be the second stage in each loop. There are 2 stages that could possibly be the first stage. Similarly, there are 2 that could possibly be the second stage. You got the same idea with 3rd and 4th and 5th. There is only one 5th stage currently, but with the new patch coming out soon, there will be a second possible 5th stage and a brand new final boss, which is super exciting. They're adding all kinds of really cool new content, items, and possibly new survivors and new mechanics and new enemies. It's going to be really awesome. While we're at it, there's a couple of special stages that you might come across as we're going. I'm showing you some images of those right now. If you find these, they're special. They can only be accessed in certain ways, and they give you really cool rewards, so keep an eye out for those when you're in-game. Alright, that's pretty much all I've got, so if you're brand new to the game, welcome. If you're thinking about getting Risk of Rain 2, you should absolutely do it, especially if it's on sale. What have you got to lose? It's going to be a great time. If this video provided you with useful information, feel free to click the like button. If you have additional information to add, or things you'd like to know more about, feel free to leave a comment. I'll see you around. Here's some gameplay footage in case you'd like to see a bit more of that.